From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, John Sitilides on foreign policy, Joel Okun on the live music scene, and the Right Mind studio band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
Just a little unexpected somberness, I must say. I had a lot I wanted to talk about today. I mean, I wanted to jump into some stuff about not being able to find a new series on Netflix and things like that. And a lot of things I wanted to dive into, but we're kind of in crisis mode here on the Right Mind Show today. And I'm going to just pull a Dr. Phil. I just want to just jump right in as Dr. Phil because when it comes to personal issues and things like that, all the comedy, all the entertainment, that goes on the shelf. I'm more about taking care of people, which right now is you. Okay, and so I'm putting everything that I planned on. I may not even talk to our guest today. They may just be sitting by their phones waiting for me to call, and their phone will never ring because I want to jump right into it because I'm taking too long as it is right now. I am so upset, and we're gonna talk this out on the air, kind of like a Dr. Laura, Dr. Phil type of thing. But you just got back from a wonderful – no, it wasn't. You got back from a family trip to the Ozarks, and I was excited to talk with you about this. And you brought up the wonderful revelation that you had a horrible time. Now, I want you, and you have a lot to, things are weighing down on you. Even as, can you tell I'm giving you this kind of therapist look right now? Okay, I mean, things look like they're weighting on your shoulders, that you just had a horrible time, and there's things that you want to share. Now, why don't you just kind of put the episode, why don't you just kind of explain the overall situation to everyone?
And this is very serious, everyone, because
yes, very serious.
If you look into the radio directly, you can see that Todd has his glasses on the very tip of his nose. That's therapist mode.
Yes, but go ahead.
So I'm having a mental health day because I need a vacation from my vacation. It was so stressful being with the most boring people in my life. My girl, perfect. I love her.
She's
Erica,
wonderful.
I love her.
She's lovely.
I can't believe she exists, and I also can't believe that she came from these people.
Yeah. Okay. Now go ahead.
There's just a certain vibe that you want on a vacation. You want to live. You want to laugh. You want to love. Whatever the floor mat says when you walk into the vacation home.
Yes.
And when you go with, let's name some types of people. 4-year-olds? Oh, 4-year-olds kind of like to get up at 6:30 and start dropping toys on the tile floor.
That's never fun.
Very devout religious people.
Devout? Now, you
to the
say
point
devout.
Where they,
can you explain devout? Because, I mean, does your inner psyche actually, do you absorb that internally, or is that something that you just want to project vocally? That doesn't make any sense, but it sounded very therapeutic.
Well, there's some churches where they just want to play music for you and fill your soul with joy. And then there's others that want to say, please don't watch Game of Thrones. It's too violent.
Oh.
And some of the people in the family that I was with are the censorship type.
Oh, no.
So if you watch an R-rated film, they get very upset.
Oh no!
If you use a swear word, they get very upset.
Let's just stop there. And as a professional therapist, which I am not, I'm not supposed to stop you mid thought because that may do something psychologically to make you imbalanced.
Stunted.
Yep. Right. Okay. But you say you are not allowed to watch the Game of Thrones, or were you watching other dirty movies, or was it just rated R movies?
Well, rated R movies are usually banned in the house. When we are over at Erica's family's
And this
house.
is your vacation, by the way.
And on my vacation, I wanted to show the family Sinners, the new vampire movie. Yeah. And I could tell some people were getting a lot of uncomfortable feelings inside. But I didn't care because it's my vacation,
It's your vacation. You
and
took
I
that
love
personally.
Vampires just going horny. Vampires are great.
It's okay. And I accept you as a person who likes horny vampires. Okay. And I don't think it sounded like the people that you were with on this getaway, this mental and physical retreat that you went away with your lovely Erica on, didn't allow you to experience this the way that you fully intended. Is that correct? Yeah, I'm doing good at this, aren't I? I did, by the way. I almost do have a psychology degree. I'm not going to make this all about me. But back to you for a few more seconds. So how did you finally resolve this crisis? Was there any bloodshed?
Well, other things that give me anxiety is being around squares.
Squares.
And I was around
like circles
a few
or
squares. And the whole time I was just wishing that Todd was with me. Todd and his wonderful wife, who I will bring up because I love being with her.
Okay.
And I wish you guys were
She
there
loves being with you, too.
on this vacation. Instead, I was with squares. And, the 4-year-olds also bring out the worst of the parents because it's always a fight during dinner to get them to eat their food. It's all of these negotiations about how much ice cream you're going to get later if you eat your delicious hot dog now, and where's
Eating
the
your
Chick-fil-A sauce?
Hot dog.
You know how much Chick-fil-A sauce we go through with this?
It sounds
family?
like a horrible thing. Now I want you to and here's the thing too. You when you go away on these, I think I asked you to kind of do a little homework on this. I tried to make it a point when you go on family vacations. It's always wonderful. No, it's not. You have to remember that as a human being, you only have a finite amount of time, okay? There's going to come that day when, boop, your time's up, okay? See, there's really only so many minutes, so many hours, so many days in your lifetime that when you're sitting there in a situation like with your family on a vacation you don't want to be on, did it ever come to your mind that I'm just wasting valuable minutes that I could be doing something better, like watching horny vampire movies? I mean, because you're going to be dead eventually, okay? So live life while you can. Life is not a rehearsal, my friend. This is it. Go out and embrace it. And whatever you do, never go on another family vacation again.
Mm-hmm. What's great about lake life is there's not really a schedule. I know that when you go to places in Florida that require going to museums and stuff and making the most out of the hotel lobby and all that stuff. When I go to the lake, it's just do whatever you want. And when we go on the boat for dinner, just kind of be there around 6, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would time it where I would wake up really late, like 10 a.m. after the kids have been up for 4 hours already. And so once they come in for their lunch, I'll go down to the dock and get some peace and quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're down for a nap, and I'm watching a movie on the dock on my phone with headphones in.
Vampires.
Yeah, you just have to time it around the kids' nap time so that family is upstairs and you are down on the dock just loving the clouds.
Yeah. I tell you what, we're not going to do anything. I'm just going to I'm going to write you a script for Xanax, and actually I can't do that because I'm not a licensed doctor, but I'll just give you some of mine, and you can just get totally high on that the next time you do this. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about a few things that I did take note of at the lake.
Yes.
There's never enough ice. Everyone's got
ice?
these giant Stanley cups and these Arctic mugs, and they fill the whole thing up with ice, and then the refrigerator can't keep up. So then some people are with room temperature ice, and they're angry.
Room temperature ice? Now, I've never heard of this. Room temperature ice would almost be above freezing, was it? Unless you were also freezing on this horrible trip, and that could be another reason why everybody was so frigid and mean.
And then you got to plug in the ice machine that's in the laundry room, but you know what that's filled with?
What?
Black mold and dryer lint.
Living hell, I tell you. Was there actually, before we because I know that you're just dying to get something positive about this experience out. Was there anything positive at all except for it all being over and getting to sit across from me again?
Well, I'm someone who enjoys a good pun.
Yes,
and we were talking about how porny it is.
Porny?
Down at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh, yes.
Because of the horny vampires.
And you sent me a lot of... let's preface this, because that was the highlight of my week, my friend. Every once in a while, my phone would go ding, and I would say, oh, it's Joey again. And you would send me these porno pictures of places... Well, they weren't really porno pictures, but places that you were at. I called the glory hole, and you and your lovely Erica took a photo in front of it. I mean, I thought that was... I got giddy just looking at those. But you went around to all these inappropriate places, I guess to escape from your boring family, and you were sending me photos the entire time.
We also went to the marina, and they have changed their name to Fill Her Up in Liquor.
Fill her up in liquor?
Yes, they have a busty redheaded lady as their logo, and you go and get gas, and they sell hot dogs, too.
They sell hot dogs at the Fill Her Up in Liquor?
They sell hot dogs.
Wow.
And little minnows as well.
Minnows? Were there tacos?
Mm-hmm. No, just hot dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't make time to go to Whiskey Dick's, but
Whiskey
I'm
Dick's?
sure they would have loved to have us in there.
Well, see, and that's just it. So I think what we've learned here is the next time that... Well, maybe there won't be a next time. But if there is, you just spend your whole time at Fill Her Up in Liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a much better idea.
And then I wanted to send a funny video to you and the aunt. The aunt, she owns the place. She's the rich aunt.
Oh, yes. Because
I wanted to show her that I care about this house that she lets us borrow. Mm-hmm. And so every time I leave, I want to leave it cleaner than when we got there. That's a rule they teach you in Boy Scouts. Leave it cleaner than before you got there.
They kicked me out for that one.
So I went out to the buoy, the no-wake idle speed buoy that sits next to the dock to tell all the speed yachts to slow down.
Yeah.
And I went out with my Windex and my wipes, and I went and cleaned the buoy. I had barnacles all over it.
Now, here's the thing.
I sent you a picture.
You sent me a picture of you floating in the water with a bottle of Windex. I think that could have been one of their promotional pictures. And there you are out there. And I was like, what in the hell is he doing out in the middle of a lake with a buoy, like in a thing of Windex? And now it's dawning on me, you were trying to escape that boring family.
Mm-hmm. I threw myself into the water and swam far, far away. And then I just sat by the buoy. And I talked to them. I said, hey, buoy, how you doing? And it was so much more peaceful than hanging out with these 4-year-olds.
Well, did you tell them, hey, you guys are a lot of fun, but I'm going to go float with the buoy out here and have more fun? Did you tell them that?
No, they just had to figure it out. Another thing that we have a problem with is dogs.
Dogs?
They bring the dogs out, the family, and they are so sweet and love to rescue you. Oh. But that means every time you jump in the water, they come in after you.
Right.
And then they doggy paddle with their claws and then cut you up and then swim back away. They think they're saving you, right? When the dog's coming at you, you think, oh, he's so sweet. He's trying to save my life. Mm-hmm. And then he goes in your face and then paddle, 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 claw, claw, claw. Right. You've got vampire marks all over your chest. Right. And then he turns around and goes back up to the dock.
So do you feel better about getting this off of your chest?
So that's what the dog did. I was out there cleaning the Windex. He jumped in after me.
I'm sorry. Our hour is just about up. I'm afraid you're going to have to be sick and mentally challenged for the next week until we can meet again. How did I do?
You were great. I should have been laying down, I guess.
Oh,
but
I thought.
This is good.
I was visualizing you laying down. But I tell you what, though, the entire time I was playing like Dr. Phil or Dr. Todd, I was thinking in the back of my head, what a living hell you just went through. Wow. All I do when I have to experience these, I get COVID and I sleep for 3 days. The only time I ever got sick, this whole COVID crap, was on a family vacation, and I got to sleep through it and get on an airplane and go home. You, my friend, wow. What a living hell. Did you see my eye twitch just the entire time I was listening to your story?
Do you want to save an extra seat or two for Erica and I to go with you to Florida and hang out with the family? Or
yes.
We can just replace a couple of them.
Absolutely.
I don't know how that works.
I tell you what, we'll go out in the middle of the bay and we'll hug a buoy or something like that. How do you like that?
They changed it from Lake of the Ozarks to Lake of America.
Lake of America?
Yeah. Trump signed some sort of declaration, and now it's Lake of America.
In the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, John Sitilides on why we should really be scared of China. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who hates going on vacation with his wife's family so much, he now refers to them as sabbaticals. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is one of our favorite guests, John Sitilides, and he's going to talk a little bit about our Sitilides. Did I screw up your name already? Because we always have a hard time. I have a hard time.
You did not.
Good.
You did not, Todd. John Sitilides. Like Todd Showalter. So easy to pronounce.
I know. We're going to do that backwards, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But let's just jump right into it. Because I always like having you on because we like to talk about the state of foreign affairs, so to speak. And there's a lot going on right now. Where would you like to dive in? Do you think that Donald Trump is helping things or hurting things, or do you think we're back where we were originally?
No, I think, first of all, on the international front, Todd, we're in a much stronger place than I think most people would have admitted or projected just 6 months ago. The breakneck pace at which the president is operating in terms of trade negotiations, recalibrating commercial ties, imposing tariffs, and sort of rebalancing America's trade relations and security relations with allies and rivals has been remarkable. Mm-hmm. And so far it looks like, at least the news this week, that the GDP of the country remains strong and on a robust track. And many of the naysayers that were warning of a recession, I think, have been proven wrong so far. Mm-hmm. I would say so. To date, we're in a much better place than I think most of us would have predicted or anticipated back on Inauguration Day.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing is, I mean, I'm biased, obviously, because I'm a huge Trump supporter. But I'm kind of in a situation myself now where with some people, I kind of want to do that I told you so thing. But to tell you the truth, I see things and I look at what some of the projections are, And I think he may actually, this whole thing may turn out to be even better than he expected. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, this all depends on how it plays out. We'll see maybe over the next 6 months to a year. First of all, I think a lot of this will ride on the September decision by the Federal Reserve. Maybe they will begin to lower interest rates. That'll save us an enormous amount of money on the federal debt service that we're paying on 36, now soon to be $37 trillion in federal debt that we're passing on to our children and our grandchildren. It looks like there's significant tariff income being generated to help offset some of the federal budget deficits. I think in June we were in the black for the first time in several decades on a month-to-month basis. And there are projections that the tariffs could raise anywhere from 150 to maybe $350 billion for the federal coffers. And it also means that we're going to be bringing manufacturing back into the United States. We've seen several $1 trillion of pledged investments from Europe, from East Asian allies, from Gulf Arab countries into the U.S., and to help restore some of the several million manufacturing jobs that were lost in the outsourcing and offshoring, especially to China and to other East Asian countries. So it all remains to be seen, Todd. But right now, I think I would bet, being very bullish on the economy, that will be in an even stronger place economically a year from now, a year and a half from now.
Yeah, what do you think, going back to the interest rates, why do you think there's been so much reluctance to do anything with it until this, up until now?
I can't read Jerome Powell's mind, right, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, but it looks like they're not convinced that inflation is at a low enough point to remain sustainable, that it might jack up again. I think they're looking to exert a little bit more pressure on inflation rates, make sure they remain on a downward, steady trajectory, and then we'll see maybe where they start to lighten up on the interest rates. We did see for the first time in quite a number of years that there was a significant split. I believe 2 members of the Federal Reserve voted to lower interest rates. Usually these are unanimous decisions. So we're starting to see some daylight among the Federal Reserve Board members, and it looks to me like we're in a better place to see interest rates start to come down, and that'll not only be good for overall investment in the business community and the like, but think about long-term interest rates and allowing young people to be able to buy homes. Right now, they're still very concerned about 6.5% and 7% mortgage rates. If we can get those down below 6%, that psychological barrier to the 5s, you'll start to see, I think, a lot more people buying homes as well.
Yeah, one of the things I keep hearing, and maybe you can explain it better than I'm quite understanding it, is that he's doing a great job as pretty much dismantling this whole globalism type of situation that pretty much had a stronghold on the economy. Is he's making it easier. I understand it to an extent, but he's making it an easier playing field for everybody right now. And I like anytime you say dismantling the globalism, I think that's great because I hate that. But explain that. How do you think he's going about evening the playing field?
Well, certainly in terms of the tariff strategy that is being played out over the last several months, you see that President Trump recognizes that the United States, by being the most powerful military in the world and the most powerful economy in the world, has enormous leverage that really no president has put to good use in our negotiations and our diplomatic relations with other countries the way President Trump has. Every country wants access to our vast and affluent market, right? 340 million Americans with buying power like no other country in the world has. And of course, the military protection that we provide, especially to allies and in Europe and in Asia, where we really have we've seen a free riding of sorts. Many presidents, from Bill Clinton through Barack Obama and maybe even Joe Biden, spoke about the free riding relationship of many of our allies, but they were far more sort of tender about it in their diplomatic communications, whereas Trump is essentially taken a 2x4 to our allies and said, you want the American taxpayer to continue paying $900 billion or $1 trillion a year in defense when you're not protecting your own countries. And we see that, of course, playing out, Todd, in the last 3.5 years with the Russian invasion of Ukraine and Europe running to the United States to defend Ukraine, to arm Ukraine, when the European Union 15 years ago had the same GDP overall as that of the United States, but because of overregulation and utterly absurd climate policies, you've seen much more laggard, slower growth in the European Union, but they won't increase taxes to pay for the entitlement benefits cradle to grave that are very generous in European countries. They won't pony up to defend their own countries. They keep running to Uncle Sam. And I think President Trump realizes, hey, this is your neighborhood. We're not directly threatened by Russia the way Europe is. You want America's defense, you're going to have to pay for it. If you don't pay up for your own defense, you will pay for the American taxpayers' expenditure of defense in the form of tariffs.
Yeah, and I love it.
So we see how he's very, very smartly played out the tariff strategy to address a number of other areas where, again, America has incredible leverage that our prior presidents have failed to use effectively.
Yeah, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And the people that are against him and giving it, saying all the negative things, I mean, look, he's not doing anything absurd. I mean, you're basically just asking people to play fair. I mean, what is wrong with that? I mean, you're asking those people to kind of pitch in and help you like we're helping them. I mean, why? I guess one of my biggest, whenever I'm talking to somebody on the other side, the far left or whatnot, and I try to objectively figure out what is their rational reason for not being on board with some of these policies. And John, I just can't figure it out. Do you see anything just radically different that are just so far out there that anybody would I don't know, take opposition to?
Look, I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush here, Todd, but first of all, we have many Americans. Look, as he said, if he cures cancer, half of America will still despise him and loathe him, right? They're simply unwinnable. But I think there's also a larger symptom here where you have a very large body of Americans who are just inherently skeptical about our country. Mm-hmm. They're genuinely skeptical about how great, how exceptional, how miraculous America is in the annals of human history. And they look for the negative and they downplay the positive. So look, for instance, this was emblematic of exactly what you're talking about here, Todd, with a New York Times report several days ago. This was after President Trump and the EU president, Ursula von der Leyen, announced the U.S.-EU trade deal. And the New York Times headline was, "Is this trade deal good for Europe?" Well, you're the New York Times. New York is in the United States.
Exactly.
That's not our primary concern. And so the concern should have been from the New York Times, what's good for the United States in this trade deal? Why are we more concerned about our other countries than we are for the well-being of our own nation? It's a very bizarre phenomenon. There's almost, to paraphrase, an America derangement syndrome where we look to vilify the United States first and uphold countries around the world at the same time. And it's very, very unfortunate. And it puts our country in a very bad direction. And I blame our education system for this, Todd, because I can't think of another country or another great civilization where the civic leaders and the education leaders of a society trained its young people to despise its own country.
Yeah.
It's never happened before. First time in America.
Well, I want to shift over to China, as you mentioned, because I mean, there's a lot to be said about the relations between China and the United States. And one thing that I find interesting, John, is that there's some type of questioning that goes on, but I think we hold all the cards. I mean, when you look at, we are their consumers. Okay, so when you are the consumer, and we say we were to just stop buying from China overnight, I don't think they could survive. So, I mean, do you think, that has to be a giant part of the picture, don't you think?
I wish I could agree with you completely on this point, Todd, but the fact is that we have allowed very foolishly, and this is Democrats and Republicans alike, for the last quarter century, we've allowed the American economy and, frankly, our defense sector to become utterly dependent on the whims of the Chinese Communist Party. For instance, when we talk about defense, Todd, you know that the Chinese stranglehold on rare earth elements that are used to produce the magnets and semiconductors and ball bearings and materials and components at the sub-assembly level for our Ohio-class nuclear submarine, for our Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missiles, for the Patriot anti-aircraft missile system. These are all dependent on rare earth elements that the Chinese Communist Party allows to be exported to the United States. And we've already had the cutoff of antimony, of gallium, of germanium in the last several months. That's really put a shock not only into our defense sector here in the United States, but the automotive sector. Anything that runs with a motor depends on China's rare earth element export. So they actually do have extraordinary leverage over the United States politically, economically, and from a military perspective. If they continue to cut off other rare earth elements, we're not able to replenish our military inventory.
Well, I got to tell you, you're always fascinating to have on. I can't wait. There's so much more I'd like to talk with you about, so I can't wait till the next time. Any last words before I let you go?
You know what? It's been an incredible first year or first half of the year. I can't even imagine what the second half of 2025 will bring us. And, I wish the president Godspeed, good health, and the continued vitality and dynamism. I mean, he outpaces people half of his age, and I don't know how he does this with so little sleep and whatnot, but we're in a great, great place today, and I just pray this continues, and I pray for his good health and for the growing support of the American people. I hope some of the skeptics will take partisanship aside and just say, if what's happening is good for America, we should support it, regardless of who's president.
Amen to that. Well, my friend, thank you again for joining us. We'll do this again soon because there's a lot I'd like to follow up on. So I want to thank you for your time, and we'll do that, okay?
As always, thank you for having me, Todd.
Thank you. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Be well. Bye now.
John Sitilides, I tell you, the guy's amazing. He really is, Joey. I mean, he makes me think. I mean, I think I've got things figured out on a foreign policy level, but I really don't. And then he brings things to the table that I haven't thought about and makes me look at things totally in a different way. What about you?
If he's trying to make us nervous about China and their rare earth minerals, I just want to remind everyone that rare earth is a rockin' band.
They are, and I was...
Just whenever you think of China taking over us.
And it's in English. You notice this? Okay. That's what I love.
Just think of rare earth, and now you just want to celebrate.
Makes me want to dance. You know what we're going to celebrate, don't you? We're going to talk about celebrating like musical festivals. Yeah, festivals and event promotion, all kinds of cool stuff when we come back from Joel Okun, a guy I met in a weird way. Hey, I'll just let him fill us in when he does come back. In the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my very bestest buddy in the whole world who's recovering from a horrible vacation. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, Joel Okun on running a live music venue and how non-alcoholic beer has gotten to be so good. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who has decided he's just too old for concerts ever since he jumped in a mosh pit and ended up crowd surfing straight to the chiropractor. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now, Joey, you're not going to believe who this guy is. Okay, I got a little I got to preface the story. Okay, now one of our sponsors on the show, Save On Wine and Liquor. Okay, when they moved in, okay, I saw that. I thought they may be a great sponsor for the show. I went and started talking to people, and after time went on, eventually they came on board, and Ethan got involved and whatnot. But as a result, I met this great guy. Okay, and he's actually on the phone right now, because he already said hello. Okay, but we start talking, and I don't drink, okay, but they have this wonderful selection of NA beers that I really like. And this guy, Joel, who I just mentioned is on the phone, starts talking to me about all these NA beers and stuff. And we get to talking even more, and he starts telling me these stories about how, with music and events. And the best one, okay, I'm watching this Billy Joel documentary that I finished. And I just finished the second half, which was just, again, brilliant for anybody who hasn't seen it. And Joel, the guy who's on the phone, because you just heard him, says to me, you know what? Guess what he said? Guess what he said? He said, I was under Billy Joel's piano in Atlanta, man, under his piano. And I said, enough said. I don't want any more procrastinating. I want you on the show. And he said, only if you ask nicely. So I did. And right now, on the line, as I've just said 4 or 5 times now, is Joel Okun. Did I say your last name, Joel? Okay. Okun?
You did, Todd. Yep, you got it right. Thank you.
What did you like that? Okay, I'm going to do that intro all over again. No, I'm not. I'm kidding you. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. And you know what's funny is that you mentioned that. Last night I was watching the part 2 as well, and I was watching the whole thing about with him and Ray Charles doing the Baby Grand, and it reminded me again of that. And, you know, that it was the bridge tour in Atlanta that I actually was right under it. And that was one of the coolest experiences.
Yeah, okay, let's just, wait, back up the bus again. Now, wait, because you just kind of said, yeah, man, I was under his piano in Atlanta. I'm like, wait, what? and like, so you're underneath Billy Joel, who is like I idolized since I was like, I don't know, 9 months old. Anyway, no, actually, not older than that. And so and you said, yeah, I was underneath Billy Joel's piano. Now, I've met a lot of people, my friend, but I've never met anybody that has spent an evening under Billy Joel's piano. What is this all about?
So I've been around music my whole life, growing up in Atlanta, and you know, with the Fox and everything here, you can volunteer usher as a teenager, you know. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that in the early 80s. Got to meet REM, got to work with all kinds of different people. And then from there, it was the Army, which is, you know, like our Sabbaths or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Everything that we've had over the years. And I was working as for the backstage pit, security, all of that. So, you know, we've got like Georgia Tech linemen as the big dudes. And then there's me who's managing up, running it, making sure everything's going all right. And, you know, we had talked throughout the sound check and all of that. And he goes, where are you going to be? And I said, well, you know, I'm kind of where I want. And he goes, well, I'd like you to be over here, because we had a nice little banter and whatnot. And my name being Joel, obviously that started it off.
Oh.
And growing up in Atlanta, all my friends used to tease me, Billy Joel, all that, when we were young. So it was really cool. And my dad played piano, and I was into the piano. I was forced to learn it at age 4, coming from a musical family, religious Jewish and all of that. Mm-hmm. So obviously it was amazing for me, and definitely one of the top highlights. You know, meeting him, Stevie Wonder at Jazz Fest in 2017, George Porter introduces me to him and says, this is one funky white boy. You know, stuff like that. I'm lucky. You know, I've been blessed. I've been around music, worked with the Allman Brothers. Remember when they opened Riverport here?
Of course. Sure. Axl Rose jumps on everybody.
Yeah, so I opened Lakewood in Atlanta as the backstage and security manager.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had to deal with Tom Petty, Jimmy Buffett, you know, all kinds of people.
So, who was the biggest a-hole?
Well, I had one situation where I'll tell you, Mr. Buffett is no longer with us.
Right.
But when he got really, really, really out of hand, he was not easy to deal with.
Okay.
And then I did have a situation once where, and I'll keep the performer's name because he's an amazing guy, but the night before they were in Pittsburgh on this tour and the sound was messed up, someone threw a pretzel and hit him in the chest. And this is a guitarist.
Oh.
He leads a big band. Right, very famous, you know, all kinds of internationally known.
Okay.
And he comes to Atlanta and he says, I don't want food served in the venue. And I look at him and I said, okay. I said, give me a minute. I walk over and I talk to his manager and I say, I understand the situation. He told me what happened. I said, well, Chick-fil-A and Coca-Cola and Frito-Lay are not really going to be happy with that. So let's figure out how we can do this. I said, if you guys want to cancel the show, that's all well and good. Again, I'm not talking to the artist, I'm talking to the manager. If you guys want to cancel the show, that's all well and good. The Teamsters, the guys that are, you know, the laborers and all that, they're getting paid no matter what. It's union, blah, blah, blah. But we can go ahead and cancel the show if you want. He said, give me 5 minutes. He went and talked and came back and said, we'll go on. I said, okay, thank you. So those are the two situations that I've had in my life where it was something like that. But
George Thorogood. I could tell. Yeah.
Joyce. No. Isn't that George Thorogood?
No.
Wink,
if I
wink.
say it, I'm going to be. Yeah.
John Mellencamp.
Too much bourbon, scotch, too much beer. I get it.
No. It was Mr. Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
It was the Full Moon High Tide tour, whatever.
And that guy won't back down.
They played Pittsburgh the night before. and he had a pretzel hit him in the chest.
Wow, I love pretzels. If a pretzel had hit me in the chest, I always said, hey, throw another and get me an NA beer.
Right.
Have you been to any shows, or do you know any shows where some of these guys, they should have probably just hung it up? I mean, because I think some people just kind of milk it out a little too long. Are there any artists out there that you experienced and you thought, well, maybe you should just go to the nursing home?
How many Bob Dylan concerts have you attended in your life?
I've never been to one, but I never wanted to.
So, I've been to 14, and 8 of them I've been to. And I love Bob Dylan. I love everything he writes. I love every song he's ever written. But sometimes his voice just isn't there.
No.
And that's to me the time. I've never seen a guy who can't play. I've seen Jimmy Page play with the Black Crowes just like he was playing in the 70s and 80s. So I've never seen a guy that can't play anymore.
Right.
I've seen someone who maybe can't sing.
Right,
or can't sing as well. But that's about it. But I love them. You know, I mean, all these artists, don't get me wrong, these are my favorite people in the world. I'm just, telling you the truth.
No, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, so as far as these, so you got back into it, you started out with security and stuff. I mean, are there still things that you're still pursuing? I mean, you're still going out. I mean,
that's one of the things I'm actually involved with. The Sovereign's opening up here.
No,
downtown. It's a new 1,500 seated music venue. It's down by the intersection, so it'll be like Music at the Intersection and all those other things. But I believe the first inside show is actually the week after that.
Right.
But I'm involved with that as well. I'm probably either going to be behind the bar, maybe running the bar. I don't know exactly. We're still working all that out. We just had a big hiring thing the other day, and all I know is I'm a part of it. So,
that's
but
cool.
I'm happy about that because my whole thing is, like same thing with some of the other places that I've been. I try to help out new bars and music venues.
Well, what do you think is the best place to see a concert here in St. Louis?
I mean,
acoustic,
so
like for sound. If you actually experience it and I
really enjoy basically the Factory and those guys out west. They've got good acoustics in there. It's just a big room. But I really do like the Pageant and Del Mar Hall, and I love Stiefel. I mean, the acoustics are amazing in all those places.
Wow.
The Peabody has nice acoustics as well. When Widespread Panic played there, different stuff.
Do you do promotions yourself? I mean, is there anything you put together and produce?
Well, one thing that I'm working on right now, and it's for your buddies at Save On, is they've got their 1-year anniversary coming up for the location that you go to at Twin Oaks.
Right.
And we're going to I've got a couple of local bands and a band from Nashville that I'm talking to. We're getting the permits all put. The weekend after Labor Day, we're going to have like a festival type environment in the afternoon. Let's say like 3 to sunset kind of thing. That's 4 hours. All kinds of tastings, the bartenders serving drinks, food, all that stuff, food trucks, you name it. So I'm in the process of putting that together right now. Also working with this venue. So that's kind of where my, between the store and the venue, that's where my attention is right now.
Well, like I said, I like going in there for Save On. They're sponsors here at News Talk, which is great. We all really appreciate that. But you
By
guys,
the way,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to mention, I did want to mention, they do have 2 sections of non-alcoholic spirits.
I was going to say, you guys have, because what I love about your place, because I love NA beers, okay? I don't want to be drunk or anything like that, but I love the taste of good beers. And the thing is, you have a wonderful selection there. Has there been, I think with the whole COVID crap and all that stuff that started, a lot of people thought, I got to go dry out. I mean, do you see a big shift in that, in the business? I mean, as far as...
And actually, yes, I have. And I'll tell you, it's not just with that. What it is really is that people are getting away from getting trashed as much because they want to enjoy life. They want to live and remember through it. It's not just let's get trashed and whatever.
Exactly.
But I will tell you this. I just did a class, an NA cocktail class the other day at our Chesterfield location, and the products are better. And I will tell you that when you drink fake tequila, whether it's, Ritual, Cut Above, whoever it is, it actually tastes like tequila.
Yeah.
Even though it's not. Like what you're saying about the beer, we have these products that do that. You've got fake rums that actually taste like rum, fake whiskey that actually tastes like whiskey. And you can make your normal drinks with them and everything tastes great. I did a lavender French 75.
Yeah.
I did like a Paradise Passion rum drink. And then I did a blackberry spritzer, basically like your blackberry smash, but without the whiskey.
Right.
And stuff like that. And just teaching people what to do. And they're not all sugary because, there's other products that you can put in there to thin it out.
Yeah.
And it's not super loaded in calories and all.
No, it's wonderful. And like some of the NA beers, and I don't want to get too far off in another direction here, but some of the NA beers are better than some, like for Corona, for example. They have an NA beer that I think is better than their actual Corona. So, I mean, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, you know what it is it actually has the right taste. I like Athletic. They have a really good product. The Blue Moon non-alcoholic tastes exactly like,
it's wonderful. Yeah.
I have people like you that come in regularly, even for the non-alcoholic White Claws, the specific things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the way this tastes. This doesn't taste, junky.
No, it's wonderful. I tell you what, I wish, if they had it back in the day, I might have remembered the 80s, and it would. No, it's great.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Well, you are great.
I do want to.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I do want to say to all the listeners, Todd's such a good guy. I know y'all are definitely listening to him every day. He's a wonderful person, and I appreciate the opportunity. And obviously, having people come to Save On and all that, we appreciate that.
Well, you're great.
Here to help everybody out.
Every time when I go in there to visit, I always hoping you're there because you couldn't be more helpful. And not only that, you're just a great guy. And so, I mean, I love talking with you. And we got to do this again soon because you're fun. You have a lot of stories, and I can't wait to hear more. Okay, my friend?
Yeah, you got to. Hey, when we get this thing committed and everything, the permit's done, I'll come back on and we'll talk some details, and I'll let you know what bands are coming and everything.
That sounds great. And always remember, I never got a chance to throw this out there, but for all these events and promotions that you do, I do balloon animals. So I don't know if you need any balloon animals, but
keep September 7th open. I might use you for balloon animals.
Okay, I really don't, but I tell you what, I will learn. I will learn just for this big promotion. Okay. All right, buddy. Well, thanks so much. We'll talk soon. All right.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
He's a great guy. He really is. Do you ever go into a place? Because they talk about customer service now. There's no customer service anymore, and it's like you go in. Either the people don't want to be there, or they're mad, they're in a bad mood, or whatever. You go into this place, Save On Liquor, and the thing is, like I said, I don't. It's like, what are you doing in there? It's like, well, they have these NA beers and stuff, a huge selection. But Joel, and I walk in there, and they'll say, "Hey, Todd, we got this new NA beer, like something high, something whatever, something noon, or whatever he said. It's like it's a great NA beer, whatever it's called. I want you to try the and give this a shot and whatnot." So he's got all these suggestions, but I like it when you go into a place where they actually care about you and they they remember you and they look out for you and they offer suggestions. Unlike some places I go to and they say you're not allowed in these premises anymore. I get that a lot. You're banned from this store, but not Joel. He says you're welcome to come in, and I want to talk about being under Billy Joel's piano one time. And I thought, was he drunk? I mean, I thought maybe being a liquor type thing, Joel had passed out under his piano, but he was actually working under his piano, and that story led to this. Now it's why he was on the show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I imagine it gets hot under those lights, and Billy Joel needed a ball fanner, and he was just down there with a magazine or something and just blowing away.
Why didn't you bring that up?
Well, I say the filthy stuff once we get him off the air.
Well, no, it's a ball fanner. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to go in there for some NA Corona and say, did you fan Billy's balls during that show? Can I say that?
My balls didn't start the fight. I don't know.
Was that even? There's Big Shot. I don't know if there's Big Balls. I don't know like that. You didn't see the documentary though, did you?
I did not see it.
Are you a fan? Because some people, I know people that either. Oh, I hate Billy Joel. But even if you don't like Billy Joel, this the best documentary I've ever seen. Okay, now I've seen a lot of documentaries, but the fact that. It's like 6 hours, okay? But they just pull back the layers. Nothing is like, and whether you like his music or not, at the end, it's like, this is a really nice guy. I mean, and he really, went through a lot of hardship and a lot of stuff like all these people do. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a story. But he seems just like a really nice guy, and you like him as a human being, even if you don't like his music. But I love his music. I have all of his albums, and I've seen all of his shows, and I highly recommend it.
As a curly-headed man, I did enjoy him when he had hair.
Yeah. What happened, though? All of a sudden,
now I don't like him as much.
Well, I was just wondering, because you don't see this natural progression, at least I didn't. It's like all of a sudden, one day he had like a bunch of hair, and then boom, all of a sudden he's bald. Usually you notice people starting to lose it. I don't know when that all happened. That was the only because I'm a big hair guy like you. I didn't even care about the music or anything because I have all the albums and everything, and the Christy Brinkley stuff. She's actually a really sweet person, but I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to know, how did all the hair fall out?
Probably a short-lived boxing career. You take a few too many to the dome, and the plugs just pop out or whatever.
That's what it was? I don't know. It could be.
I do have huge respect for curly-headed, ugly people that are skinny like me. So, Elliot Gould, oh, man, I worship him.
Elliot Gould.
He's so funny in those early movies.
He was married to Barbara Streisand. Did you know that? So that took a lot of, you talk about fanning balls. He was married to Barbara Streisand. I don't think I could be married to somebody like Barbara Streisand. Could you?
No, and I go on a lot of cruise ships, and there's always the piano bar, which is a nice, relaxing place to hang out.
Right.
And Billy Joel is alive and well. His music is always blaring out of the piano bars on the cruise ships. And my lady and I like to sit on there, and listen to some piano man.
I told you the worst Billy Joel situation I ever had. I was visiting my old school teacher, as I often did before she became deed, and in the nursing home, and I go to and the music that they were pumping through the nursing home was like a Billy Joel song, and I thought, Billy Joel's in nursing homes now. It just made me feel so old, but at the same time, I started singing as loud as I could and scared a lot of the old people when I was asked to leave. But when you hear Billy Joel on music at an old people's place, it just kind of dates you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you're going up into heaven after sitting on hospice, and the beep just starts to beep and annoy you. It's
and
good
you hear
to
My
hear.
Life, you hear,
and then My Life
I don't
kicks
care
in
anymore. That whole thing, yeah.
And you just float on up to the light.
And you go up to the light. Hey, well, you know what I always say, don't you?
I forget.
If you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Until next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey V. Mitch in the background, twirling around. This is The Right Mind Show. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.